Welcome to the Learning Lab Instructor Edition. This episode is for instructors, both aspiring and current. So if you are a Mahjong instructor, preferably American Mahjong using National Mahjong League rules, then you're in the right place. A lot of what we talk about here could be used for instructors of any version of the game, because we don't talk specifically about American Mahjong unless we're focused on teaching methodology because of the nuances of American Mahjong. But every other topic is broad, so can be applied regardless of the version that you teach. So I hope you find these episodes helpful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do want to give a quick shout out to our channel members. We do have a new channel member, Urvi, out of India. She just joined the Instructor Guild a week or two ago. So Urvi, thank you very much for joining the MAHJLIFE channel membership. She joined as an obsessed tier member, I think, because she wants to get on the hot seat and do some coaching. I'm not doing any teaching right now because all my time is being spent leading the guild, which is growing leaps and bounds. I'm so grateful and very excited about it. So she wants to improve her game, and the only way to do that is to join as an obsessed tier channel member, because we do hot seat coaching as one of the perks. So when you join that channel membership during a broadcast, you let me know in advance, and then we get you set up to join me, and you play a game, and then I offer coaching by watching how you think, and then I kind of check for blind spots and help guide you as needed. And of course, you tell me what your pain points are, and we start there. But it's a lot of fun, and it can be very helpful, because you don't know what you don't notice or what you don't see. Sometimes you can't see the trees for the forest and all that. So that's what these hot seats can help with. So thank you very much for being here. Say hi in the live stream chat if you like. Today we're going to do the second in a series on really integrity in your teaching practice, in our teaching practices. So the first episode that we did last week was called Teaching Starts with Self-Assessment. And it's really knowing where you are so that you can promote yourself within the scope of your abilities. Because if you go beyond your scope, you could end up hurting your own reputation inadvertently. And we wouldn't want that, because then you've got to do damage control. We don't want that. So teaching starts with self-assessment, and I recommended that you take the ELE, which is the experience level evaluation. It's a self-assessment. It's not a test. It's just to kind of get a benchmark of where you are, so you know where you need to grow as a player and an instructor. So if you're interested in that, you'll want to look for episode 20260212. And it's basically the date, last Thursday. So that's the convention that I use for episode numbers. It's the date with a YYYY month, day format. So this is last week, 20260212, or you can just type in self-assessment in the search and you'll find it. So we went through that last week, and if you took that ELE, then that will be part of what we're going into today. So we're doing kind of the next step. Now you could go back and do it later, and then do what we're going to be working on today. They don't have to be done in order, but I think both of these activities together can give you some powerful information to help you improve your game, which will then also filter into your teaching practice and could benefit so much about what you're all about. So today's topic is authenticity in teaching and visibility. So we talked about self-assessment, where you're at, kind of like a snapshot of where you are and where to go next to improve. And then today is about authenticity in your teaching and then visibility. Hello, Sherry, welcome. Dana, hello. Thanks for coming. So authenticity isn't about being modest or understanding yourself. It's about alignment between what you know and what you teach, how you present yourself online, if you are online, or if you're in social media. You don't have to be in broadcasting. It could be just even blogging, how you represent yourself on your website, or maybe even in social media, whether that be Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. When your brand matches your reality, teaching becomes lighter and more sustainable. So if there's misalignment, then you're going to feel that. It's going to manifest itself in different ways through your teaching practice. So finding alignment is going to be key. And the only way to do that is to figure out, of course, who you are, what your goals are, and what your skill sets are, so that you're able to teach within the scope that you're prepared to give. Because again, if you don't and you teach outside your scope, it's going to end up hurting your reputation, and we don't want that. So the first question that I have for you to think about is, does your online presence reflect where you are right now as an instructor? Does your online presence reflect where you are right now as an instructor? Now, if you don't have an online presence, does your marketing reflect where you are right now? Because not everybody's online, but if you're have an active teaching practice, you've got to have some kind of marketing to get your name out there. Although word of mouth probably is more organic, so that probably is aligned. But if you have print marketing, then you just want to double check and make sure that it reflects where you're teaching, where you are right now, that you're promoting yourself within what you're confident in teaching. So you're not overstepping and overwhelming yourself or misrepresenting yourself. That's where the authenticity comes in. You want to be authentic. So what I have seen in some instances are where instructors are teaching from where they want to be, kind of a cart before the horse promotion. That maybe they're, for example, let's say they've been playing the game for 6 months, so they know how to play the game, and they love it, they're passionate about it, and they want to share about it. So they're sharing about it and they're teaching people how to play, which is fine. You are able to teach anybody anything as long as you know more than they do, because then you'd have to answer questions that you are not prepared to answer with, I'll get back to you on that, which is fine. But as long as you know more than the people you're teaching, that's fine. So where you want to be mindful is when you promote yourself beyond where you are. And I have seen a little of that. Someone may be playing for 6 months and offering tournament preparation when they haven't even attended a tournament yet. So just be mindful that you should have a skill established before you then turn around and teach someone, because then you could be creating this false sense of confidence in people, and that could end up hurting your reputation. So does anybody have any comment about this particular question? Does your online presence or your marketing reflect where you are right now as an instructor? How do you feel about that? Oh, hi, Sherry. Yeah, I just saw your comment about my foot. It's my knee. My knee. I can't put weight on my knee, and it's not better. It's terrible. I can't walk. But we're getting it handled. I have an appointment on Monday. Thank you for asking. Okay, so the next question, have you ever felt pressure to sound more advanced than you feel? Have you ever felt pressure to sound more advanced than you feel? When you're excited about something like Mahjong, when you jump in with both feet and you're passionate about it, you love it, sometimes that enthusiasm can take you a little beyond where maybe you're not ready to go yet. You're trudging into dangerous territory because you got to learn. It's a journey. This game, it's a game that it has a short period where you're going through the learning curve. And then after that, you're going to still be learning. You're going to be on a lifelong journey. I'm always learning. I've been playing the game for over 50 years, and I'm still learning nuances of Mahjong, different versions, but some of the things that I'm learning apply regardless of the version. So Mahjong takes a lifetime to master. So we will always be learning, and it's okay to not have an answer. That is okay. It's okay to be transparent about that, because then that even makes you more relatable, more approachable. So this idea of feeling pressured to promote yourself as more advanced than you are, that can be a little dangerous, because then if you're called to deliver and you're not able to, that too is going to affect your reputation. And you don't want that. That is the worst thing to have to recover from, is a tarnished reputation. Laura says, you see YouTube videos by instructors who are working for companies that sell Mahjong sets. The videos give questionable strategy and information from authorities. So they're basically, are you thinking that they're parroting what they are hearing and that they really don't have the knowledge themselves? Is that what you're saying? I've seen a lot of this as well myself, which is one reason why this series is on the forefront right now, because I see a trend. I see a trend out there where there are a lot of new players who have just jumped in with both feet, which is fantastic. And they're teaching the game, which is also fantastic, but you want to be within scope. You don't want to teach beyond your ability, because you'll only hurt your students and yourself in the end. So this is all about how to figure out where you are and where you can, how you can leverage what you know right now and be fulfilled and be profitable if you're running a teaching practice where you charge, and be fulfilled if you are teaching gratis. Either way is fine. But you want to teach within scope so that you're confident in doing well because you're delivering what you promise. Where you can get into trouble is when you offer services that are beyond your scope. And that's what we're talking about here. So, what parts of your teaching identity feels most natural? What parts of your teaching identity feels most natural? Oh my gosh, Laura, yeah, that's not good. Somebody's misunderstanding the purpose of the Charleston. Okay, so depending on how you answered this question, that natural feeling, that's going to be a strength that you need to leverage. And another question you could ask is, what parts of your teaching identity feel uncomfortable? Or where do you feel insecure with your teaching practice? So what parts of your teaching identity, you as an instructor, what feels most natural? What feels uncomfortable? And where is there uncertainty? So those are going to tell you what you can leverage and where you need to grow. Now, when you see areas for improvement, you don't want to just fix it all right now, because then you're going to overwhelm yourself and you could even burn out. So you want to prioritize these areas. If you're thinking of different areas where you feel uncomfortable or uncertain, you don't want to fix it all right now. You want to identify it, because awareness is the first step. And then you want to pick the areas that you want to grow that would give you the most return on your investment of time and energy. So make notes about where you feel most natural in your teaching identity, where you are uncertain or uncomfortable, and then leverage where you feel natural, and then prioritize where you're uncomfortable or uncertain, and then address one at a time, the one that would give you the most ROI, or maybe the low-hanging fruit. Maybe you need to get a coach yourself to help you with low-hanging fruit. Maybe do a 3-hour session on the game, or maybe get a coach who can help you establish a bookkeeping system, or what have you. So look at the list. So list out these things. Let me see. How to explain, Dana, patience is a strength. Okay, excellent. Leverage that. You're uncertain about new technology and which one and how to integrate it into your teaching. Technology. Do you have an example of what kind of technology that you're uncertain about? Technology is my background, so maybe I can help. Okay, so these questions are all on the show notes for today. So you can circle back and watch or go to this page, which I'll put in the video description below. So you can kind of review. If you missed any of these questions, you could come back to it and maybe dig a little deeper, do some introspection. Introspection. Is that the right word? You can go deep inside and think it through. Okay, now let's go into some talking points. So again, our topic is authenticity in teaching and visibility. So the first one is authenticity is internally driven. It comes from clarity, not from confidence alone. So authenticity is not about confidence. It's about clarity of who you are and what you're all about. Confidence can fluctuate, especially as you grow, but clarity gives you a steady anchor. So knowing where you stand and where you need to grow, that is part of clarity. When instructors understand what they teach and why, their message stays consistent, even on days where their confidence wobbles. So clarity is the point here. Clarity supports authenticity. Okay, so that's our first talking point. The next one is brand identity should reflect lived experience, not aspirational labels. Aspirational language may attract attention, but it often creates internal pressure and external misalignment. When your brand reflects what you're actually taught, seen, and practiced, your visibility feels honest and sustainable. So your brand needs to reflect your lived experience. It needs to be aligned with what you have learned along the way as far as Mahjong is concerned. This goes back to making sure that you're teaching within your scope, which is a good thing. And then your scope grows with you. So your scope is kind of like your bubble, and it will grow with you. So right now you might have a small bubble, and it will grow. That scope will expand as you grow and as you learn, not only as a player, but as an instructor. So does anybody have any questions about authenticity, clarity, your brand identity being based on your life experience, your Mahjong experience? Put it in the live stream chat if you like. Okay, the next talking point is clear positioning attracts the right students and reduces imposter syndrome. Has anyone experienced imposter syndrome? I have, and I actually have a book on it, and it helped me. It's kind of imposter syndrome is, well, clearly we're not an imposter. We are who we are, but it's really a mind shift that has to be made. And it's clearly a lack of confidence in yourself. And it typically happens when you're doing something new. Imposter syndrome. Has anyone experienced that? So with your positioning, how you market yourself in the Mahjong community, you're going to be attracting students, but are you attracting the right students? When students know exactly what you offer, they self-select more accurately. Sometimes you might see that you're attracting students where there's some kind of misalignment. You might want to look at your marketing, because your marketing should attract your ideal client. If you don't know who your ideal client is, that's going to be your first step. You've got to document who your ideal client is, because not everybody is going to be your client, your ideal client. For example, with me, my ideal client is a hardcore Mahjong player. Someone who will commit to lessons, come to everyone and do the homework, come prepared to be coached, apply what they learn, come back and show their results. That is my ideal client as far as a player, as an example. So if I were reached out to do a party with a social gathering where they want to do a lesson on how to leverage the power of the Charleston, but they're having margaritas along the way, nope, that's not my ideal client, because margaritas create distraction. So you want to make sure that your marketing is attracting the right clients for you. If you are an instructor who teaches a light version of the game and you're more about socialization and party atmosphere, then that would be your client. That would be your ideal client, but you'll be staying at a high level of the game. Some instructors teach deep. Some instructors stay at a high level, more introductory level, and that's okay. If you differentiate yourself, that's one way to do it. You just want to make sure that you know what your goals are. Because if your goals are to eventually, let's say, have a team of instructors with you who are teaching people how to play and maybe run events where you're doing leagues and tournaments, you don't want to be having parties because you're going to build the wrong client base. So you need to have a vision for where you want your teaching practice to go and identify your ideal client. Once you have those two things established, then you can create your brand identity so that you're attracting that ideal client. It's really key to a sustainable business. And if you charge, if you want to make a profit, it's going to also be profitable, because if you don't attract the right clients, you're going to have a hard time with bookings. Okay, next. Authentic instructors build trust faster, even while they're still growing. This is where you teach within your scope. Teach from a place of authenticity because you've identified clearly who you are, what you're all about. You've got a vision. It's documented. You've got a growth plan. You know where you are and where you're going. All that is important. And if you teach from that space, that builds trust in the people that you attract to you. Students don't require perfection. They value honesty, transparency. Instructors who are transparent about their journey invite trust, create connection, and model what confident learning actually looks like. How do you let people know this? How do you let people know what? About how do you let people know where you are, you mean? Maybe could you elaborate on your question, Dana? If I understand correctly, when you promote yourself after you've identified your own baseline, then you determine the services that you want to offer within the scope of what you're able to deliver on, so that you deliver on what you promise. So not so much social. Credentials are important. Credentials are important for credibility. Credibility is evidence of skills and experience and ability. Authenticity is more about representing yourself honestly based on your experience to date. And you could have credentials for your experience to date and then gain more credentials later. So you can have credibility for where you are right now and still grow and add more credibility. So credibility grows with you, but authenticity is where you are now if you are transparent and if you even know where you are right now. It takes a little bit of inner work to figure out and to get that clarity. Figure out where you are in your game, where you are in your teaching abilities, so that you know what you're able to do and then where you can grow slowly but surely. Let's see, you are more hardcore, not social and tablescapes. You want people to take the game seriously, maybe even something tournaments. I'm not sure what that word is. Texties in tournaments. So you want serious players. You're an instructor. You want to say you want serious students. Yes. So the way that you would promote yourself, then you would not have photos with a martini on the table. You would have a photo of players in a workshop setting where they're sitting there with tiles and maybe paper and a pencil to give the view of hard work. Now, the people who are teaching kind of the fun, high level, social gaming, social aspect, then they will have a tablescape with a martini glass. That's going to attract a different kind of a client than a marketing piece where you have an image of students at the table with a worksheet, or a students at the table with an instructor pointing to, the card or the tiles, and no alcohol on the table, or no food even, just basically the game and the students, and everybody focused on the task at hand. Now, you don't even have to have an image. It's the words themselves that convey or that attract the right student. Let's see. When answering questions, often you take students back to the source of the rules. The wiki is good. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Let's see. Don't make them take your word for it. That way they can look it up, answer other questions independently. That's exactly why it's there. Yeah. So in your marketing, what is going to be key to attract serious students is to use a different tone than an instructor who's having a more party atmosphere. Someone having a party atmosphere, you would use fun, fluffy, energetic kind of words. But someone offering a more serious skill building session where you want them to play the game at a deeper level, it's going to be a little more value driven rather than enthusiastic and fun driven. It's going to be more about what's in it for me. Let's get to the nitty gritty. When you walk away from this event, you're going to know how to this, and this. Whereas on a party atmosphere, you're going to say, come and imbibe, enjoy good food, drink, conversation, and play mahjong along the way. Okay, so that's a different crowd than someone who sees an ad that says, if you want to build your skills and beat the socks off your opponents, come to my sock hop workshop. You're going to learn this, and this. Space is limited, register today. You know what I'm saying? So the words that you use are going to draw the right students to you. And the imagery, if any, should match. So another thing that I've noticed out there are a lot of instructors using images of non-American tiles. They're using Ricci Mahjong tiles or Hong Kong Mahjong games. I highly advise against that because you're going to confuse the viewer. You're going to confuse your prospects. If you're going to use tiles or a game table in your marketing, it should be with American Mahjong tiles because it's misaligned. It doesn't feel cohesive. If you're having an American Mahjong PDF, there should be American Mahjong tiles on it, not Ricci Mahjong tiles, Japanese Mahjong tiles. You don't just get a stock photo of Mahjong tiles and slap it on there. That is not good quality marketing. So I highly recommend that you look at your marketing and make sure that the images you use are relevant to your topic and your title, your subtitle, and the content that you have on that. Make sure that it's cohesive if you really want it to attract the right player. Let me see. Okay, so now authenticity begins on the inside. It's internally driven, rooted in knowing what you truly understand, what you're still learning, and where your real experience lies. Teaching from authenticity means sharing what you actually know, not what you aspire to know someday. This again is about teaching within your scope. It's okay to be on a learning curve. It's okay to be on this journey. We all are, because like I said earlier, it's a lifelong journey to master the game. We'll always be learning something new. Integrity. So we have authenticity and then we have integrity. Integrity, on the other hand, has an external orientation. It's shaped by how your teaching is perceived and trusted by others. Integrity shows up when what you claim aligns with what you can reliably deliver. And when your marketing language and instruction accurately reflect your experience level. So if you are new to the game and you're even new to teaching and you've never been to a tournament, you should not be advertising advanced lessons and tournament preparation. That would be a vision that could be added to your website or your Facebook page or your marketing materials later. You don't have to have everything on there right now because there's growth that needs to happen. So start where you are and stand on integrity by representing yourself authentically. So if you have been playing the game for 6 months, you could do beginner classes and maybe next level, maybe I would call it intermediate myself. Some people call it advanced beginner, but I don't go to that. I don't slice and dice at that level. I do beginner, intermediate, advanced. So once someone gets from fundamentals, then they're going to do next level. If you are an intermediate player, you can teach people who are beginners and maybe the next level up to where you are now. Then as you grow, you move the line and then you add services or you add classes based on what you're confident teaching. So if you are an intermediate player, it would be risky to advertise advanced play or say that you can help someone prepare for a tournament when you haven't done it yourself yet. So it's important to protect your own reputation. Hello, Wes, welcome. Okay, so the next thing I want to share is that when you look at authenticity and integrity, together that creates accountability. They help instructors stay within scope, build trust over time, and avoid the pressure to position themselves as something they're not. So take a look at these talking points again and just do a little bit of self-examination and check your marketing, check your services that you're promoting, and make a little adjustment. If you're advertising for something that is a little beyond you, just put it to sleep and then bring it back up when you're ready to deliver a quality session at that level. So again, it's not, you don't have to do it all right away. You can grow into it. If you're an intermediate player, do beginner lessons in the next step. And then as you learn and become more advanced, then do the full-on intermediate type classes. When you've gone to a tournament and you've done a few, then maybe add advanced play and tournament prep. You got to experience those things yourself. So you want to make sure that you're teaching what you know. You're teaching within your experience. And that way you're going to be an instructor, and you're going to create a teaching practice based on authenticity and integrity. Okay, now, any questions so far about this? This is kind of a hard topic, and it might make you feel some sort of way. It might make you feel uncomfortable, but it's important if you want to have a teaching practice that is sustainable and reputable, and a teaching practice that people will want to share organically, word of mouth. Because if there's misalignment in there, they're not going to share. They're going to walk away, and actually you'll get bad press. And you don't want that. So there are ramifications for teaching beyond your scope. So be very mindful about your vision. Identify your vision, get it written down, establish a growth plan, and then begin where you are now. And then as you gain confidence, can begin teaching where you are confident with the concepts, and you have gained experience with them, so that you can teach clearly and be able to answer questions and have players walk away knowing what they're doing rather than questioning or having a false sense of confidence. So it's all very important. It's all integral. It's all part of the same whole. Sherry says you teach all levels, but emphasize that you build habits that will easily transition to tournaments later on. If someone is interested in a bunco type game, I let them know that you're not the best yet. It's just not a fit. Yeah. And that's okay. Not everybody is going to be your customer. That's okay. There's room for everybody. And there are takes all types, basically. So you might even find someone who teaches that kind of a game and make a referral. You can maybe collaborate even. They can send referrals to you for the more serious students, the people who are more competitive. So incidentally, with your marketing, your look and feel should also convey or should also appeal to the type of client you want to attract. If you want to attract touchy-feely social butterflies, then a very soft pastel look and feel is going to be more attractive. But if you want more hardcore players, then you might want to go with more solid primary colors in your marketing, because they're bold and maybe even contrasting. So think about your marketing and the kind of client that you want to attract. The visuals of your business, basically your brand identity, does actually attract clients. And then the words themselves support that. It's all part of the same, I guess you could say, psychology. Let's see. Okay, Laura says your guided play refresher course is 3 topics. Method to pick a hand, Charleston power strategy, and reinforce rules on the back of the card. Okay. That's great. That's a great refresher. All right. So now, as far as how we can help to support instructors in teaching from this place that we're talking about, teaching from an authenticity and integrity, the MAHJLIFE Instructor Guild offers programs and tools designed to help you grow responsibly, so you can represent your skills honestly, build credibility intentionally, and advance your teaching practice with confidence rather than comparison. I think what's happening in our community is with this growth spurt that we're experiencing with the game, is there's keeping up with the Joneses going on. And if somebody who is relatively new to the game sees other people who maybe have been playing the game and have launched a business, and they're doing leagues and tournaments, and they've only just begun, but they want to do the same thing, and they're out there promoting that they can do it too, that's very dangerous. It's going to hurt your reputation, because if you're just beginning the game and you try to deliver a league or a tournament, you're not going to know what you're doing, probably. You got to do a lot of underpinning work, not only with the game itself. You got to know the rules. You've got to know the logistics. You've got to have the confidence to deliver and referee. You need to understand marketing and scheduling and event planning. And there's a lot that goes in with running a league and a tournament. So it surprises me when I see people who've been playing less than a year doing tournament prep. Now, some people learn the game super quick. Typically people who have analytical minds, people who have a math background, accounting background, engineering background, mechanics, those sorts of mind, the way that the mind works for those areas of interest, typically learn the game very quickly. Gamers as well, people who understand game theory, can pick up the game quickly. But the more people who are creative, musicians, well, even musicians typically can pick up the game, because music is math, basically, from my understanding. I'm not a musician, but I've heard that there's math in music. Excuse me. But think about artists and maybe even people who are actors, thespians, people who are more artistic, more creative, typically have a longer learning curve, because the game is analytical. It requires critical thinking. And not that they don't have those skills, they do, but they just think differently. It's the right brain, left brain challenge, because we have a tendency to be one or the other, and a little of both. It's just a matter of how much. So just think about what you're made of, how you want to represent yourself, and then represent yourself within scope to protect your reputation. That's what this is all about. See previous chat. It has two parts. You read the second chat, but not the first. Okay. Where's the first one? What? I saw two posts from you, Laura. The first post I saw was, it said, you're uncertain about new technology and which one and how to integrate it into your teaching. And then the next post I saw was that you do a guided play refresher course. Those are the two comments that I saw. Am I missing something? What am I missing here? Oh, let's see. You should see. Oh no, I saw the comments on YouTube videos, and how some instructors are advising to stop the Charleston. And then you said something about being uncertain about technology, and then you went into your class. So I missed something. I'm not sure. Can you just repeat it maybe, because I'm having trouble finding it. You have 3 posts. 3 posts. 1, 2, 3. I see 4 comments, all of which I just mentioned. And then another one, 2 more telling me I missed something, I guess. So if you can just summarize in one post, that might be helpful, because I clearly am missing something. Okay, now I just want to share with you some ways that you can get started to do that inner work, to figure out where you are now, where the gaps are, maybe where the blind spots are, and where to go next. We've got some tools that you can use to help you get started on the right foot. But before we do that, let me look at what Laura's saying. You need a better name for guided play refresher course because it attracts the wrong students. Okay, so what kinds of students? So the name you're using now is guided play refresher course. Can you confirm that? Guided play refresher course. What kind of students is it attracting right now? Let's find that out first. It may not be the title per se, it could be the content in the piece. It could be the tone or the word choice, the description of the class. That it could be all of the above, actually. So oh, you have Wright-Patterson players joining? So one thing that can help ensure that you are highlighting the overall purpose of the class is to have a title that attracts and then a subtitle that defines. So for example, American Mahjong refresher course, guided play for expert guidance for confident play. So a title that states who it's for and what it is, and then a description that shows the what's in it for me. So American Mahjong refresher course, that's what it is and who it's for. And then expert guidance, that's you, for confident play. That's the what's in it for me. So that kind of a title pairing would draw in the right students. Now, Beverly is adding here, for students who have completed so many lessons or students who play independently, that would be in the description. So you would have maybe a sentence that say this session is ideal for, and then put that description in there so that they can confirm. But your title and your subtitle need to, that's like your headline. Like if you're looking at a newspaper, your title and subtitle are kind of the very kind of the announcement. It's what people see first. And then if they're interested, they go into the article or into the description. So it's almost like the title and subtitle are the resume. A resume gets you the interview. The title and subtitle get them to read the description. The purpose of the title and subtitle is to grab their attention. It's the hook. Oh, we have a new channel member, Dugay. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but thank you very much for supporting MAHJLIFE. Okay, now you have a requirement that can play independently with the 2025 card. So that would be in the description. So I think, what are your thoughts about the title being the hook and then the subtitle supporting that hook and then including the what's in it for me? What do you think about that pairing? Let me just type in here what I was, as an example, American Mahjong refresher. That would be the title. Let me just do this. American Mahjong refresher, and then the subtitle would be expert guidance for confident play. How about this? Well, no, I mean, we already say it. Okay, so American Mahjong refresher, expert guidance for confident play. That makes it pretty clear. You're looking for American Mahjong players who already have learned how to play the game because it's a refresher. You're an experienced instructor who are going to guide them and help them play confidently after the class. That tells them in a nutshell in very few words. Is that what you're looking for? Something like that? It is a bit formulaic, which is good because you can reuse it. All right, well, let me know what you think about that because I want to share my screen because I want to show you the Ellie, which is what we talked about last or 2 weeks ago, I guess. I don't remember if we did it, well, we did do it last week. Or maybe I'll just share, let's see here. Okay, so the American Mahjong Experience Level Evaluation is a kind of just a question with multiple choice, three items. And when you answer these questions, it's going to total up your values and give you a level of experience. And it can either confirm or make you question where you think you're at. And then you can look deeper because there's like an analysis that's provided below to explain the numbers where you fit in a range and then give you next steps to grow. That is the Ellie, and that's free in the wiki, and there's a link for it in the show notes. And then in addition to that, there's another one called Dimensions, Ellie Dimensions, and it just goes a little bit deeper, but it's another assessment that looks at the game overall. So that's another way to get a visual into where you are in your journey with mastering American Mahjong and areas where you could grow. The next service that we have is for instructors in the MAHJLIFE Instructor Guild. So if you want to take advantage of some of these that I'm going to mention, you'll need to join the guild. The first two are public facing, but the next 6 are behind the guild wall. At West took the Ellie and it really pinpointed areas for improvement. That's fantastic. I love it. So then the next one is the Instructor Self-Assessment System. This is, the acronym is ISAS, and members will need to log in before they click the link. But this is where it's an instructor-focused assessment to look at your teaching practice and see maybe where, to check your readiness and to see where maybe you have areas for growth in your teaching practice, not just the game, but your ability to teach. So it looks more about at your communication, lesson planning, teaching methodology, and things like that. So you've got the game to deal with, but then you also have the teaching component of your teaching practice. So the ISAS will help you do that. Then we have the Merit Program for Instructors. This is the micro-credential program for instructors in the Guild. You've got to join the Guild to participate. It's exclusive to Guild members. And you can test, study, come to Q&A sessions, prepare, take exams, and when you pass, you earn a digital badge. And you also can get PDFs that you could print out on nice paper and create a certificate of competency to show that, or to show visual proof that you know what you know, that you are teaching from a place of integrity, and that you are sharing from authenticity. You do teach what you know because you've proven it by taking an exam and passing. Beverly says her student loved the Ellie. She felt she learned a lot, and you'll set up further instruction. Yeah, the Ellie and the Ellie dimensions can all be used to help with one-on-one coaching, and you can even do it as a group, which is a lot of fun. Everybody would take the Ellie, and then you would do it as a group and share the results. It would be a lot of fun, I think, to do as a group. The next program that we have is called Pride and Excellence Initiative. And this is just where you commit to teaching the American Mahjong rules as intended to be played. And that if you teach house rules, which is fine, you're free to teach however you want. But if you teach house rules, that you're just transparent about it, that you disclose that this is a house rule. It is not sanctioned by the league. If you choose to play this way, have a blast. I just want to let you know that it is not sanctioned by the league. So if you have questions, you might want to go to a forum or Facebook and not call the league, because they won't be able to answer. So that transparency is part of this Pride and Excellence initiative. You're free to teach however you like, including house rules, but transparency is the key, so that players know that they're being taught a house rule. And that will set them up for success when they go play with other people. So they know to ask about their house rules and they can be prepared. And that's what we want. We want students that leave our lessons to be confident and be able to play with anybody, anywhere. And that's what the Pride and Excellence Initiative is all about. Then we have a new service and a new feature at MAHJLIFE called the Ellie Equipped Coach. This is the members, this is all for instructors in the guild. So if you're not part of the guild, you won't be able to partake in this until you join. And we can talk about what it takes to belong to the guild in a few minutes. But the next one is the Ellie Equipped Coach. And this is where you've taken a course where you are trained to analyze the Ellie results and the Ellie dimensions and create an actual portfolio for your student that you can coach from. So it gives you tangible results that are visual and pleasing to the eye, that are inspiring and full of value. So it is another way for you to add a revenue stream to your teaching practice to get Ellie equipped, and that you get another micro badge if you pass. So that is a course. And then the next one is Esprit Boost. So if you are on that learning curve, every month we do Esprit Boost, where you come in and we talk about Mahjong, the rules not in the game, are not in Mahjong Made Easy, complex rules. We do deep dive into the rules based on the needs of who is present. And then we also talk about teaching methodologies, teaching practice overall. We answer questions and do our best to help you get set up for success and be able to teach with confidence and from a place of authenticity. Teach within your scope. That's what Esprit Boost is all about. They are guided sessions designed to help instructors strengthen the way that they play, refine their coaching instincts, and stay sharp as students move beyond the basics. So that is Esprit Boost. So all those are linked. Some will require a member login. So if you get to a page, oops, page cannot be found, then you're either not a guild member or you're not logged in. So make sure that you're logged in, and there's a note there that says member login before clicking, just to remind you that you got to log in first. Okay, so now the activity that I'd love for you to do is to take the Ellie if you haven't already. So take the Ellie. There's a link on the show notes that I'll give you, and the exercise will give you this little snapshot of where you are just to help you clarify what you teach confidently and where you are still needing to develop. Then you'll be able to use that to check your website, your instructor bio, your social media profiles, your marketing materials. Once you get that baseline, you can make sure that everything is in alignment so that you're operating from a place of authenticity and integrity. So I have some questions for you now. Are you ready for some questions? I have 3 questions. One is, what do you explicitly claim to teach? So think about your Instagram posts, your Facebook ads, or not, maybe not ads, but posts inviting people to come and take a service from you, your website, etc. Oh, I hate that word, etc. Forget that I said that. That makes me cringe. So you want to look at all your marketing and see what you explicitly offer right now. So list out everything that have a list of your services. What are you offering? You could have, maybe if you offer products, have that as a separate list. Products and services are separate things, but you do need to support your products if they're yours. Of course, you need to be able to answer questions. If the products that you offer are third party, then you can refer them to the creator. But if you have products of your own, you need to have the confidence to support customer service inquiries. And then list out all the services that you offer right now. The next question is, what do you consistently demonstrate in lessons? What do you consistently demonstrate in lessons? Over time, it becomes rote and you become skilled. What do you demonstrate as far as your abilities as well? So does what you demonstrate in your lessons align with what you explicitly promote in your offering? And then the third question is, what might your language suggest more expertise than you feel ready for? So if you are using language that is beyond what you're able to deliver, you may want to tweak your marketing. So make sure that the tone and the word choice that you use and the outcomes that you describe are all aligned with the services that you're confident in delivering, that you're able to demonstrate in lessons, that all of that is aligned. And that is how you stand on integrity and that you operate from a place of authenticity. This is the second in a series of 3. Keep the Ellie dimensions, self-rating results, and your notes for later reference. So the Ellie, the dimensions, if you do that, and then next week we're going to talk about another piece. Beverly said, American Mahjong in accordance with National Mahjong League rules. American Mahjong instruction in accordance with National Mahjong League rules. Okay. Okay, so now does anybody have any questions or anything you would like to talk about? I do have a reflections question to kind of tie things up. So if I don't see any questions, I'll go ahead and ask this final reflection. So here's the concluding reflection for you. After everything we talked about, how might clear alignment reduce pressure for you and expectations for your students? How might clear alignment reduce pressure for you and expectations for your students? That's what this is all about. Less pressure, managed expectations. Everybody's happy. No complaints. Just enthusiasm and improvement, joy, all those good things. So we can open it up and discuss any of this that you would like, or if there's anything else on your mind, we can chit chat for another 15 minutes. I just want to let you know what we're talking about next week. This will be the 3rd in the series. We're going to talk about integrity, scope, and continuous improvement. That's what we're doing next week. Integrity, scope, and continuous improvement. So all 3 of these together can be really powerful, getting you to the next step, or at least creating a nice timeline for you to follow, or growth plan, because you're not going to be able to do everything at once. It's going to take a little while. First, you need to do inner work. Then you need to identify gaps and blind spots, get some help and some oversight so that you can see the trees for the forest, come up with a plan, and then prioritize, and then fill those gaps and make sure that you're operating from a place of integrity. All that is really important for a sustainable business, or teaching practice, I should say. Not everybody is running an actual business. Some people don't charge. That's why I call this I say teaching practice a lot, because some people charge and some people don't, but it's still a teaching practice, and it is still a business. It's just you may not be bringing in profit. It's still a business, but the word business is kind of, it could be misunderstood. So that's why I say teaching practice. Does anybody have any questions? I will add this link to the video description so you can click on everything in here that I shared and learn more about these opportunities. Again, if you're not part of the guild yet, consider joining, and I'll add a link to how you can join the guild, starting, of course, with what we're all about. You'll want to know that, of course, first. But we would love to welcome you and help you on your journey. I don't see any questions, so I guess we'll go ahead and sign off. Moderators, thank you very much for helping monitor the chat today. I appreciate you all being here. Oh, here we go. Laura is asking, can subtitle be longer than the primary title? Yep, absolutely. You want to try to keep your title short, though. I would say probably no more than like 6 or 5 to 7 words. You want to be very intentional about word choice and keep it short. You're welcome, Wes. It's my pleasure. So I usually like to keep my primary title to like 3 to 4 words, and then the subtitle maybe double because it's descriptive. So your title is the hook, and then the subtitle maybe could show the you part, and then the what's in it for me for the client. There are other formulas that you can use as well. Use ChatGPT to help you. ChatGPT is great at marketing if you train it, if you teach it how you think, if it understands your personality and the kind of tone. You'd have to instruct ChatGPT so that the output sounds like you. So you would always want to make it your own. Once ChatGPT gives you results, it's not ready to just plug and play. You've got to make it your own, and then you can claim it as your own. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I hope you found this helpful. We'll be back again for the 3rd in this series, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it. It's pretty exciting. Nothing like this was around when I got started. So this is a great way to shorten your learning curve and do it right the first time. It'll save you a lot of time and money. I'm just saying, a lot of time and money if you follow these, if you do this work. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.